Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Forgotten Horror Channel, the circus that is. And today we're doing something really, really special. Obviously, it's Friday the 13th, and what better time to do a Friday the 13th than with Friday the 13th? However, we are in the presence of a god today. We have got Rock God 2004, Nigel, with joining me and Carlos. How are you doing, Nigel?
I'm not too bad. I've been unwell, but I'm getting there, mate. I'm all right.
Yeah, I was hinting at that because I noticed you were pretty unwell there for a while, weren't you? So I'm glad to see you.
I was in hospital over last weekend. Bad asthma. I've never been in it with hospital before, but yeah, I think it's turning into a chest infection now.
Yeah,
but I'm slowly sort of getting there, I think.
Brilliant.
But thank you very much for having me on as well, by the way.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being brave enough to come on.
As soon as Carlos mentioned Friday the 13th, I was like, yes, I'm there.
Absolutely,
I knew he wouldn't let us down.
No. I mean, when Carlos said to me, he said Nigel's a huge Friday the 13th fan. It's probably his favourite film ever. And I thought, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Then let's get somebody. Let's get him on here. Let's just do this because it's my kind of chap anyway. So yeah,
he was close. It's me second. That's me first.
Yours, yeah, absolutely. So Carlos, I mean, Carlos is the structure of the podcast because I'm ADHD and I go everywhere, and Carlos has to calm me down a little bit. So we're gonna try some structure for a change at this one.
So advertise your channel and let everybody know in the community who you are. Most people should know who Nigel is.
Well, yeah, unless you've been living under a rock. Nigel's Rock God 2004. He has some awesome content. I mean, his music taste is impeccable. He shares the same sort of bands that I grew up with: Saxon, Motörhead, Iron Maiden, all those sort of guys. Sabbath, all the good stuff. I mean, with a name like Rock God, you have to be into them sort of bands. You can't like Britney Spears. You never know, though. You never know.
I do have some dodgy stuff in my record collection, but
don't we all?
Exactly. But I can assure you, it's not Britney Spears.
You don't know what you're missing, Nige. Anyway, it's a pleasure for having you on, mate. I mean, I've been a fan for a long time. Carlos has been great setting this up, so I have to thank my mate Carlos for this as well, for getting you on, for being brave enough to come on.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the very kind words. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, I mean, you're welcome. I mean, I saw the video nasty streams you do with my old mate Darren there, and I thought, yeah, he's right up my street. Anyway, you know what I mean? Just in general, because we've probably lived through the same experiences.
Yes.
Good
Do not leave the house with a video nasty in your hand on show unless you want to go to jail.
That's it. Yeah, I'd still be there now. I'd be rotting.
Oh, it was like carrying drugs.
Worse.
It was. You could get done. It was ridiculous.
We got raided twice, Nigel. My house got raided twice because of the old bat next door. She whistleblowed on my sister and her friends and said they've got all the video nasty. So the police raided our house twice. I mean, my mum opened the door. You're all right, love, do you want a cup of tea? And I'm thinking, shit, I've got all this in the loft.
Can you imagine being arrested for having axe and evil speak, for Christ's sake?
Yeah.
Mental.
It was becoming ridiculous. Sticking with the nasty list, this was on section 3, wasn't it? Part 1.
It was.
Banned.
And part 2.
Banned. Completely banned. I went to the video shop one day, and they were all there. I went to the video shop the next day, and no, it was just like mass hysteria. Really was.
I think it ran some of them out of business as well because it cost them a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I mean one of my video shops, they actually did close down not long after. I think they lasted to about 86, maybe 87. No, 86, Nige. So that's roughly
Wow.
about 3 years. 3 years. So he only had the smaller VHS shop then. And he had all the shady ones, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was cool. Well, yeah, it was Friday the 13th on the video nasty list, section 3.
Yep.
What was your first memories, Nigel, of Friday the 13th? This is what we want to get to. We want to get. This is why me and Carlos do this, because me and Carlos have lived like you. We've lived through this stuff. We've lived through this. We remember. Anyone can Google it and research it and do stuff.
Yeah.
But living through it, this is what the podcast's about. Is trying to get to the memories of it all. What was your memory of this, Nigel?
I've got 3 main memories. The first one was I used to get, you remember the big newspaper, Sounds, the music paper?
Oh,
I was looking through for whether it be Sex Pistols or Iron Maiden stuff, and there was a half-page advert for the UK posted for Friday the 13th. I was like, Jesus Christ, that sounds horrific. And then I thought no more about it.
Yeah.
And then the next time, I remember I went to my sister's house, my oldest sister's house, and they'd just got a video not so long ago when you rented the actual machines before you bought them.
We had to rent our first one.
Yeah, and I had to go and sleep over every weekend. And they said, "Oh, we've got videos out." I'm like, "What have you got?" And like, my nephew, who was more like me mate because he was older than me, said, "Oh, we've got Friday the 13th." I went, "I ain't watching that." So I stayed upstairs playing records, and all I heard towards the end was about 7 people downstairs every couple of minutes going, "Whoa! Ah!" And then it went quiet, and I heard this nice music, and I was going to go down, and I thought, "Oh, it's finished." And then I heard this almighty, "Wah!" And I was like, "Oh, shit, it hasn't." So I stayed where I was. And my sister said that was horrific. She was older than me.
Yeah,
and then the last memory I have of it was the following year, I think it was. My dad got our first video from his. He retired early, he took early retirement. So he got a video on the telly. And I got him from school one day. I think we'd only had it a couple of weeks. And I was actually going away with my sister to the Lake District. But she was coming down for me on the Friday night to sleep at their house. So I got home on the Friday. I said, "What's for tea?" Blah, blah, blah. She said, "There's a film there for you to watch." I said, "What is it?" He said, "The Burning." I went, "I'm not watching that." "Well, why?" I said, "Because it's supposed to be horrific." Anyway, I just bit the bullet and watched it. And I was like, "Oh my God, that was absolutely fucking amazing. I loved it."
Yeah.
But an hour later, I got picked up, got to the house, and they were all smirking. "Oh, tomorrow, you said, we've got a couple of videos out tonight." I said, "What have you got?" They went, "Well, we went for Friday the 13th. They went, "Absolutely not." I said, "I've just watched The Burn." They went, "Oh, it was out." So we got part 2. So I actually saw The Burning and Friday the 13th part 2
first
in the same day. And I thought I could see the similarities. And I thought, I'm not going to sleep for a month. But that was it. That's what made me brave. And I was absolutely chomping at the bit to see the original. I couldn't get it fast enough.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I saw the original, I'd seen 1 and 2. Like, that was the face of horror change for me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it was. Look, see, this is what people don't understand, because back then there was no social media, there was no nothing, and we didn't have any spoilers whatsoever. Me and Carlos have said this many times. It was an event. Getting a video was an event.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was.
Neighbors had come in, friends. My sister's like 5-6 years older than me, so all her friends and their boyfriends would pile into our house on a Friday night or like a Saturday night when my dad was out dancing. You know what I mean? My mum and my dad would go out watching them play darts. Typical Northern, like, you know. And honestly, and they would rent these things, because I was into Bruce Lee, Nigel. I was into Bruce Lee.
Never interested me that.
My mum brought me Superman. When we first rented our VHS player, it was Superman. And I was like, no. And my dad goes, "He's not into that crap." And he brought me Bruce Lee, Fist of Fury. That was it. I was obsessed with Bruce Lee. Anyway, my mum showed me Halloween 1. My mum was more of the horror fan. My dad couldn't stand it. So my mum showed me Halloween 1. and Halloween 2 wasn't far off being released. So I was like, okay. So obviously I watched that. And then ever since we watched that, my sister and her mates, it was a video nasty every Saturday. And Friday the 13th Part 2, they did it backwards. Like you, they did it backwards. I saw Part 2 before I saw the original.
Yeah. How weird.
And I was like that. What is this?
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. I said, I mean, I loved Halloween, but I think this was a total different beast. A guy with a pillowcase and a pickaxe running around the woods. I thought, woo, and it was so vast. So then my sister, in the next week, rented Friday the 13th, the original, and obviously this was before the Nasties Act, so they were already available. So I put Friday the 13th on, and I was sat there, and I loved it, Nigel. I was like, this is it. This is it. I mean, this to me, this is pure horror. This is the stuff.
I had actually seen Halloween on the telly. It was on late one night. And I was 13, so that was 2 years before we actually got a video. We still had a black and white telly at that point. My mum and dad had been out. And when they came in, my dad went to bed. My mother watched me with it. I couldn't sleep for 3 fucking nights.
What year was that, Nige?
God, that must have been 81.
Because my mum showed me Halloween on the TV. We never rented it. It was on the TV. And I was like, oh my God.
I think it started about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And from that opening scene, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So I got older a couple of years later, and that's when I sort of like discovered the Friday the 13th. Because what people don't realise is when you watch Friday the 13th now, because they're desensitized to it, or because they think they're too hard and cool and trendy. But what they don't realise is before that, all we had was Hammer.
Yeah, that's right.
So jump from vampires, werewolves, and Frankenstein to some psycho chasing you with a fucking dirty, great big butcher's knife. Can you imagine the change, like that sudden change like that? It was terrifying.
Well, my grandma, bless her, she showed me Wolfman, Universal's Wolfman, which was probably my very, very first one. And then I saw on their black and white TV, I Walk with a Zombie on TV. And I thought that was cool because I was always into macabre stuff. But then, like you say, when that come along, we went from, armchair thriller, you know what I mean, with the Black Nun. Jeez, wow.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's terrifying. I've got that on DVD, that series.
Oh, with the black face, that scared me something ruthless.
Yeah, it did me.
So we went from that, and then that Friday the 13th Part 2, bang, I went, Halloween was quite tame. For me, Jason was more scary because it was more violent. You know what I mean? Friday the 13th was more violent. Michael Myers was creeping, and you never knew where he was, and that was frightening in itself. But when you saw that little bit more, you know what I mean? Like that scene in the cabin where they chop the snake. It's a real bloody snake, isn't it?
That was real, I know. Yeah. Everyone was happy about that.
I think my memory was more or less similar to you guys because when I was hiring videos out, again, I've said this before, I would always go for the really gory covers or somebody on the front cover with a machine gun or a handgun like Dirty Harry. So my folks actually ordered a stack of videos, and Friday the 13th was among the group of videos. And obviously with the Warner cover, with Adrian King, Alice on the front cover.
Yeah, that's what we're...
Please pass it through. Give it to me.
So,
there you go, Nige.
That is an item of beauty.
Looking at that cover in the stack of the movies, it didn't really interest me. So they were watching all the videos that weekend, and I actually watched the last few minutes of the movie. Didn't take a lot of notice, but then when the second movie came out, at school, everybody was talking about this Jason Voorhees, walking around with a machete and hacking people to death. So everybody was talking about Friday the 13th Part 2. They wasn't really talking about the first movie. So with that, I I saw the Friday the 13th cover, the old Paramount CIC video poster, and I thought, cool, that looks like a cover that's tempting me. When I hired that movie, obviously I hadn't seen the first movie. It did say part 2. So then when I watched the start of the movie and they show you that little ending of the first movie, I thought, hang on a minute, I've seen the original movie. And then it kind of just fell into place. Like most people, like you guys mentioned, you watched the second one, then you went back to the original movie. So that's what happened with me.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody was talking about the first movie because obviously Jason Voorhees, spoiler alert, wasn't the killer. It was his Mitch Voorhees. So that's how my memory of the movie came about. And then obviously when the third movie came out, it was all about Jason and the character and the look, and everybody just wanted to watch the movies just for him, when the first movie was really, like you guys say, it was more of a mystery.
Yeah. See, that's what I liked about Friday the 13th Part 2, because you got the last half of the original film before the story of Part 2 took off. And that was quite a nice seamless transition from 1 to 2, because Adrian King was started off in the second one. But the first one, for me, when I watched the first one, it feels natural. There's no over special effects or anything like that. The scene at the woods, that campground, that Camp Nobi Bosco, what they used, real campground, real wildlife, the real lake, and the way they shot that is some really nice scenery that they shoot there. And that's what makes that film, I think. It was not a set, it wasn't CGI as we get today. There was a scene where you can see like otters and that swimming.
That's right.
I think it's just before Ned gets killed. But
yes,
it is a nice scene.
It is.
You can see the sun's going down, and you just look at it and think, wow. And it's only as I've got older, like I'm an old fart now, I appreciate that more now than back then, because I just wanted to get on with the killing back then. But I can appreciate that's the difference between, I think, this film and the rest of them. It's shot so nice. I mean, it is got such a nice flow to it. I mean, I've heard a lot of people bash Friday the 13th, the original, but I'm like, no, this was a trendsetter. This, I mean, you got to remember, Halloween wasn't the big juggernaut it is today. In 1979, it only started gaining traction, and Friday the 13th was well on its way to being released. But they had the common sense to bring in Tom Savini, my mate, you know what I mean, and do the effects, which was so cool in Dawn of the Dead. That sort of thing. So they brought that level. So they upped the ante quite a bit on Halloween. It was only the year or so later than Halloween.
Yeah.
But it's such a nicely shot film, Friday the 13th, the original. I think that premise, that campground and the woods and the lake and everything they do is just on set there. And you can't beat that. It comes through on the film.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I think is it still there? Is it still there, guys? Because I think it's a real.
Yeah, they do.
In
they
New
do
Jersey.
lake.
They do lake.
Yeah. They do the tours. Yeah, they do the tours there.
You even get to see the cemetery when Annie gets out the truck and walks with her backpack out that truck. That cemetery behind it. Even you see that as part of it as well. Unbelievable. I'd love to go.
Yeah. That's it. Now, everything is so picturesque, isn't it? The way it was shot, the winding roads and that, and you think, wow, what a nice place to shoot a horror film. It was different. It really was something different then.
I actually was surprised because Annie, I thought watching that movie for the first time, because the story kind of starts off with her journey when she comes in looking for Camp Lake, and I love the scene when she goes into the shop and obviously she asks where the camp is and everybody just stops stunned, like, why would you want to go there, sort of thing. And I thought she was kind of going to be one of the one of the girls that's going to put the focus. So obviously when she gets taken out quite early, I was really surprised with that.
Yeah, I was.
I think they've done quite a similar sort of thing with Wes Craven and Scream. the opening girl in that movie, you think the movie's going to sort of be based around her. They took her out, which was a bit of a shock.
That's another thing, Carl, that separated Friday the 13th from the rest of them, because the final girl or the final boy, whoever it's going to be, was always introduced first. And because the camera spent so much time with Annie, she was a likable kid. You know what I mean?
You just didn't see it coming.
Kid. Didn't see that coming at all, especially when she's thumbing a lift after she gets dropped off, and the truck driver's telling her, "Don't go there, don't go." It's and she's like, "No." Then then you just see the Jeep pull over, and she jumps in, and you think nothing of it.
No,
you think nothing of it
until she starts to go, "Hey, wasn't that the trailer for Camp Crystal Lake back there?" Then you even need to go. Dun, dun. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And then because can you stop? And you put the foot down, and you hear the engine rev even more. So she's flooring it, and you think, and she actually dives out of that moving Jeep as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a stunt in itself. If you think about it, jumping out, what we're going to have you do is jump out of a rolling Jeep about 35 mile an hour, and we're going to capture that.
I think it was her who did it as well, because I've looked and I cannot see any.
I was going to ask you, Nigel. I think that was her that did that role. I think she did do it.
Yeah,
I do. I really do think it was.
Yeah.
You could see our stunt woman could do it, but it was such a close-up shot. You think she actually did that?
Yeah, I think she did.
Yeah, I put money on her doing that role, because
I think she would have done
move.
They might have slowed it. They might have slowed it down. Obviously, the budget that they had was less than $500,000, wasn't it? So they probably would have got her to. She definitely would have done the role for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then it's the chase through the woods, isn't it? And again, it's the real woods. There's no fakery about that. You just see feet, and you think, oh, what? Yeah. And straight away, it's like, oh, who the hell's this now? You know what I mean? And the music was amping it up.
Yeah,
and I thought she got away, because at that point,
because the music just stops.
Yeah, I went, oh, thank God she's got away. And
then when you get that, I absolutely shit my thong.
Yeah. such a red herring that was, where I thought she's got away because she's the main character, right? She's the main, she's the main girl.
That's what we thought.
And I thought, oh, starting with the action straight away, yeah, this is brilliant. This is the final girl. She's gonna go up and she's gonna tell all the others that there's a maniac, and they're gonna go. This is gonna be brilliant. And the next thing,
there she goes.
And then it was the uncut version, Nigel, wasn't it? It was the uncut version.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's uncut again now on this.
Yeah.
However, this is really dark. I must admit, though, when we got the new telly, I watched it. It did look so much better. But this is how sad I am. I also wanted the steel boot with the nice slipcover artwork.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
I think my favorite edition that I've got personally has got to be that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I've still got mine. Yeah, it's got everything.
It has to be in any Friday the 13th collectors or fans collection. That's got to be the.
I do have some nice DVD ones as well. They brought one out where it was like in a plastic, very flimsy plastic box. You got a mask with it. And a lot of people's boxes like brittle and snapped. Man's still mint. Yeah. He's going to have it, isn't he? Man's in a box out there, so that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you get the individual DVDs with the lenticular slipcovers?
No, I got
them as well.
I got the after ones, but this thing about that thing, yeah. And again,
I've got the one before it. It was just the Paramount one with the thin slips. I've got that.
Yeah. I got that. I've got a few there. Yeah. So yeah, I've got that. I've got the tin as well. You know, the tin.
I want the tin. I don't have the tin.
No,
but I do have that.
Yes,
that's a nice one.
It is an amazing cover. That
one 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 different coloured versions of this.
Wow.
But this one's the bad boy. This is the rare one.
Yeah.
The blood filled.
Wow, look at that. Oh, see, look at that. I mean,
you see moving at the top of it there.
Yeah, absolutely. That is beautiful. That is a work of art on its own, Nigel.
They only made 100.
Wow.
I think when they were distributing them out, I think about at minimum 25 leaked and damaged. It's now believed that there's less than 60, 65 left.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hey, I tell you, that needs to be framed, that, Nigel.
Yeah, beautiful collector's item, that.
That is something. That is something special, that, mate.
It is expensive.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
I think when it came out, I'm sure I heard somebody say it was about $100 or something.
Right.
The most I've seen it for sale on Discogs was $4,000.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
I always enjoy the soundtrack. I think it really adds to the movie.
Love it.
Especially when they only play that kind of main killer's theme when the killer's actually there. And I always pick up on that more so now.
I thought you were gonna say "Fly Away, Sweet Sparrow." Then
that's on there. It's on there.
That the track from the diner that they're playing, "Fly Away, Sweet Sparrow." And when I heard that, I was like, "Is that in?" And then I remembered the diner scene. It's there, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's on there.
On the record and on the CD, though, somebody must have knocked it during the mastering because it's slow.
Right. Okay.
It sounds like a. But because I've got a Technics turntable, if you turn the pitch control up full, it takes it up to the proper speed. You can hear that how it is in the film, and they've never ever rectified it, as far as I know.
No.
Did you notice that as well? You know when the bit that Carlos was on about when they go in the shop.
Yeah.
Before he opens the list, the dozy looking fella who works behind the counter with a big dozy arse face.
Oh yeah,
He's the one who hits Ajax in the stomach, the copper in the Warriors.
He was also in House of the Thousand Corpses as the guy that pushes him through the Captain Spaulding's thing. He's That's him.
Bloody hell!
He put a bit more weight on, and he's got the big head on. He's waving. That's him.
I have seen him in somewhere else, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. But yeah, as soon as I've seen him, a Friday 13, I was like, he looked familiar. And it took a few years, and I was watching the Warriors once. I was like, no way, that's not him. That copper who bats Ajax when he's chained to the bench, and it is.
Yeah, and he's in House of a Thousand Corpses as.
Do you know what? Was it Death Wish 3 he's in? I think he's one of the thugs in Death Wish 3.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out.
A background one. He doesn't get any talk and all like that. You've got to watch him. I'm sure it's Death Wish 3. It could be 2, but I'm 99% certain it's 3. It's quite recently when
Fishburne was the second one, wasn't he?
I think it might be part 2. The big fella behind the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's wearing a cap in Death Wish 2. A leather cap.
I think he did have a cap on. It might be 2.
It might be 2. Yeah. God, is that him? I didn't realise it. I love that. I love that opening scene when she goes in and asks where the camp is, and obviously Crazy Ralph pops up. I mean, I always think he's not in the movie enough for me because he's just like one of the symbols of the movie as characters go. You know, you're all doomed. It's all cursed. I just love that.
Yeah, he's like a prophet of doom, isn't he? But his introduction when they see him in the shop and he's go away, Ralph, and then the next thing he jumps out the bleeding pantry and he scares the pants off everybody because he's just opened the door and there he is. How did I know he stood in there?
I really wish he would have lasted until the final chapter.
Yes, yeah.
Sure.
It would have given that touch of class, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you got that kind of weird copycat in part 3 with the eyeball. Who was nowhere near as good.
That was sad.
Yeah.
That one. I was like, oh no, that was just them regretting they killed Ralph.
I have warned thee. I thought, I wonder who you're trying to
with
do.
the 3D. With the 3D.
Yeah.
No, that was a pale in comparison, wasn't it? That to Ralph. Ralph was well.
I think probably they didn't realise what they had with that crazy Ralph until he was gone. Then they realised.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure I heard interviews somewhere that when they first started, I know they had the title, they didn't have a clue what the film was about. They just put it out. They got that block Friday the 13th and put it out as the most terrifying picture of all time. And they went, right, what we're going to do? And I'm sure as it went on, Victor Miller was writing it as they went. I'm sure I read something like that. And I thought, do you know what? If that's the way it was done.
Yeah.
They've done a pretty fucking damn good job, haven't they?
I think it was a publicity stunt because what I read, he put an advert in the Variety magazine.
That's right.
The 13th.
Yeah, they haven't even got a story, let alone a film.
So they were trying to cash it. They're trying to cash in on the Halloween movie, obviously, and they didn't even have a script. And they were going to call it The Long Night,
like Camp Blood or something.
Camp Blood.
That's right. Yeah,
they were going to call it that. So then when Friday the 13th came as a title, and obviously with the Friday the 13th kind of superstition, and obviously Halloween represents a certain day, and it was kind of, as a selling point, it was good to come in with that Friday the 13th title. It just made more sense rather than, the Long Night, Camp Blood sort of thing. So I think that was a gem of an idea from that guy, Victor Miller. But then, Sean Cunningham, not really knowing who the actors were going to be. Obviously, they had a low budget. I mean, I still have to pinch myself and actually remember Kevin Bacon, Mr. Footloose, is in this movie in one of his first early roles, which I always laugh at that. It's one of my favourite kills because it's Kevin Bacon.
I've often wondered, if he was ever at a Comic-Con or out like that, and you took Friday the 13th, would he sign it? Because I remember there was a time he was having nothing to do with it. But then he goes and does the advert for the phone.
Or something.
Yeah.
And he's got a fucking arrow coming out. I thought, hang on a minute. Yeah. I thought you disowned it.
He did a series of interviews, Nigel. Because he did. I mean, we'd never even... Footloose wasn't even out when we first saw Friday the 13th. So he was
no.
I don't remember. So no one knew him anyway. It's only years later. But I remember an interview with him. Oh, I can't forget. It was on some film he did, and someone threw Friday the 13th at him. And he said for a long time, like he did, it was like, oh, that was the beginning of his career. But he got to appreciate it as he got older. And he said, when he looks back at it now, he said it was something that he was most proud of because it gave him his jump. It gave him his jump into Footloose. And he was, I remember him on an advert on a roller coaster, and he said, God, I've never been this good since I read the script for Friday the 13th. So he was recognizing it, you know what I mean? And I thought, well done him. Yeah. And if you took something, Nigel, I guarantee he'd sign it for you.
Oh, I'll have to watch out for him.
Kevin Bacon, he would sign Friday the 13th, I'm sure he would. Without a
Wes
shadow
Craven
of
was the same about Last House on the Left. He would not have nothing to do with it for years. And then because all the fans kept going on about it, he warmed to it. And then I think he sort of embraced it.
Well, Sean Cunningham and Wes Craven were like in cahoots with each other because Sean Cunningham was helping Wes Craven do Last House on the Left.
That's right, yeah.
And Wes Craven was helping Sean Cunningham do bits of Friday the 13th. And this is all behind the scenes stuff that we never knew.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Another one as well, I will never understand it because it doesn't matter how bad you think you are in a film, that film has got its fans, but I still cannot understand why. And it is a shit film, I will admit that, but why does Renée Zellweger and what do they call that other fella? I don't even, Matthew McConaughey, they will not have nothing to do with the fourth Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, but if it wasn't for that film, they would never got any further.
I think Nigel, a lot of actors, they kind of they kind of turn their nose up at horror movies. I mean, like you say, Kevin Bacon, that was his start. I mean, you look at
And it
Johnny
is for a
Depp.
lot of them. That's what I mean. So they should be grateful of it rather than like trying to hide it.
Yeah,
That's
Johnny
right.
Depp.
That's
Nightmare
right.
on Elm Street. And Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously, with Halloween, and sort of like, the young actors. That was a start for them, especially in the 70s and 80s with these horror movies. So,
But
obviously,
Demi Moore did Parasite, didn't she? Demi Moore was in Parasite. Brooke Shields was in Communion.
Did you know Parasite's a Section 3?
Yeah.
I don't know how, because it's shit.
Half of them are.
I've actually got it in 3D, because before this telly, we had a 3D telly. So I actually got to see Jaws 3, Friday the 13th 3, Parasite in 3D. Now I can't. Gutted.
Jaws 3 was probably one of my first cinema experiences back in the day with the 3D glasses on. Jaws 3.
Never got to see it at the cinema. That's why I wanted it to come out on 3D Blu-ray so bad. And when it did, my God, I was like a kid at Christmas. Hurry up! And do you know what? It made it so much better.
Yeah, it was frightening.
It's the worst Jaws film, because everybody says Jaws the Revengers, but they're wrong. It isn't. It's Jaws 3. But Friday the 13th Part 3, I thought that was, compared to 1 and 2, was quite lame. Yet people think Part 3 is their favourite. I will never understand that.
Richard Brooker played a great Jason. I liked his look. He was a big fella.
Yeah.
He was quite a brute there. But I get what you mean, Nigel, because if you look at the tone of Friday the 13th, the original, the tone of Friday the 13th Part 2 is virtually the same. You would swear that was the same place, even though it was shot in Connecticut somewhere.
Totally different place,
You could totally believe that Jason's cabin is in that woods where they filmed the original, and camp. The second camp in Part 2 is on the same lake. You would totally buy that because of the tone. Whereas if you look at Part 3, it's got like a warmer, bleached out feel to the film.
It's like you're either in Texas or Amish country or something.
Yeah.
It's very, and the acting's so wooden in that one. Whereas for me, in the original, the worst actor in the original for me is probably Adrian King.
No, I'll disagree. It's the copper who can't ride the bike.
Oh, yeah.
He's funny, though, and we ain't understand no weirdness out here. But when she walks up, she goes, I can show you where you get changed. She stood there doing this for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You watch it next time you watch that. Just go away with your bell end haircut, you stupid woman.
Don't you think? I mean, every time I look at Adrian King in the first Friday movie, I think split second she looks a little bit like Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode. Her look, even the sort of clothes and the clobber that she wears, briefly, she's a little bit kind of like Laurie Strode's sort of type. I mean, I know a lot of the time they're trying to sort of rip off Halloween, but I reckon more so with her type of character being.
She was obviously the good girl, but
she was Friday the 13th answer to Laurie Strode.
She was the good girl, but she wasn't as virginal as Laurie Strode because Steve Christie was coming on to her, obviously, when they're doing the repairs.
And she was smoking pot with Strip Monopoly.
And she was getting into it, so there's no way Laurie Strode would have done
Laurie wouldn't do anything like that. She was too good.
No, that's what I mean. So
I think Alex just look-wise.
Yeah. I think you're on your own there, Carlos.
No, I just think just the way her hair and the way she dressed, obviously the way she acted was a little bit different.
Well, it was only a year or so after Halloween, wasn't it? So the style and the fashion was still very much there.
I think Friday the 13th started filming in 79, didn't it?
That's right. And
Halloween was only 78. It came out 80, but I'm sure they started filming in 79.
It did, Nigel, because the Sean Cunningham was desperately financially bankrupt, and he had to get something out to save himself. So him and Wes Craven and all his friends just threw. Right, that's why they had no script. They just threw it all out. Let's get on with it.
If you see the photos of him back behind the scenes, he's the proud owner of one of the finest porn tashes ever. Is Sean Cunningham?
Yeah, he's up there with Savini, isn't he? He's up there with Savini.
It looks like a dirty great big rat's gone and just died there.
Yeah, I mean that was the style, wasn't it? I mean Tasso was there. Tasso Stavrakis was there, and he was another one with a big mustache of the day.
Yeah.
You know, we saw him in Dawn of the Dead. Tasso, Tom Savini's mate.
Oh.
He was one of the bikers in Dawn of the Dead. And when they do the Voorhees head thing, that's him with his hands, Tasso.
Oh, giving it that.
Yeah, that's why their hands are all dead hairy. And you can see Tasso behind the scenes. You know what I mean? He's got the stash as well with Savini. Those two clowns. You know what I mean? They were always like jokers on the set. And yeah, when you look back at this film, though, I think it's aged really, really well.
So do I.
Something about it. Yeah, I can sit there and throw it on, and I can just sit there and be immersed and say, "Well, look how that's shot. It doesn't look 1979."
No, it's one of them films for me that I could stick on any time and I never get sick of it.
That's right. That's right. And
I mean, people say the original's bad and all that, but Jesus Christ, how many times have Paramount re-released it? Yeah. There's 2 bouquets already.
Yeah, that's it.
Various DVDs, Blu-ray. There's a true factory set.
There was 3 releases of the original VHS before Sell-Through came out. There was SIS X, SIS 18, and then the Certificate 18.
Sell-Through.
Yeah, that was it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, people keep saying like Part 6 is their favourite. Don't get me wrong, I love Part 6.
Oh yeah,
I like
but that hasn't been re-released as many times as the original.
Yeah.
No.
Well, the original's always going to sell more, isn't it? Because that's where the franchise begins, really. I mean,
it is the best one of the lot. I don't care what anybody says; they'll never change my mind.
I mean, I do prefer the second one.
Yeah.
That's just me. But then I saw the second one first and realised that, I'd seen the original movie the last 10 minutes. And obviously when I put the second one, everything just connected. I mean, probably Tom Savini hadn't come up with that idea with having young Jason in the dream.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was going to be a mystery. And Tom Savini, I think, if I'm right, because you two guys are bigger fans than myself, that the idea came from Tom Savini where, the bit of the boats, the canoe boat scene was his kind of suggestion. So maybe if he hadn't suggested that, maybe a sequel might not have happened.
Yeah, he wanted one last scare, didn't he? He wanted one last scare, and Savini thought, right, let's what can we do? And I know we'll have. Oh, I mean, and what an impact, Nigel! You had first-hand experience of that, like I did when I first watched that. I was like not expecting it. Now we'd saw part 2, so I wasn't expecting this. So I was set there, and even though I saw part 2, I'd forgotten what happened in the end of part 1, really, especially that scene. And I was sat there, and because I was so immersed in part 1, because I was sat there, I was getting closer and closer to the telly. I mean, the TV was only this big anyway, and I was like, right, and he jumped out, and wow!
I must admit, like I said, I saw part 2 first, so when that came on, that was the first time I seen it. But because I'd had that experience of listening to the rest of the family downstairs jumping, I still jumped though because there's no the exact spot.
I'd forgotten. I saw part 2, and whatever. I must have been paying too much attention. I must have been out. And then I saw from when the footsteps and stuff, you know what I mean, was coming, the prowling part 2. So I missed that sort of jump scare because they were all, woo! Even on the repeat, they were all, woo! So I was like, oh, what's this now? But when I watched the original, when it got to that scene, suffering night, I was sat on the couch as quick as possible.
Even though I saw it first in the second one, that did not have the same impact as when I saw it again in the original film. That was far more it made me shit my pants more. It was far more effective.
it draws you in, doesn't it? Because you're immersed in that lake scene. You're immersed in her in the canoe. And the music's like, again, another red herring with that soundtrack. Nice bit of music. And the lake, though, Nigel, it's like a mirror. That lake is like
everything.
You get the odd little tiny ripple.
And the last thing you expect is something to be jumping out of that bloody thing, isn't it? And that got everybody, that did. I mean, nowadays, people won't be bothered about it because there's, like you say, the desensitized and they've spoiled and they've seen everything. But us three never saw anything like that before. We were all...
No, that was new to us.
Yeah. And that's
what I mean. When you go from Dracula and Frankenstein Hammer films to that, it's a big culture shock.
Yeah.
The classic jump scares. I mean, I always associate that one with Friday the 13th right at the end. Very similar to the Carrie scene right at the end with the music. It draws you in.
Comes up. Yeah, the hand.
It's very similar because obviously she wakes up in hospital with a nightmare sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's very, very similar. Again, I mean, I have Carrie in this Friday the 13th ending as two of my favourite jump scares because they just very, very similar. Again, with the music, you're kind of thinking everything's all over, everything's done, dusted, everything's all rosy, and then wallop, it just comes out and the hand and Carrie pulls you. But this one, young Jason, the deformed Jason jumps out of the water, which looks really horrific.
Yeah. And the practical effects. I mean, when I first saw that makeup on Bill Crosby on that door, I was
God,
it just looks so real.
He had his throat slashed as well, didn't he? So she'd gone to town on him.
Arrow through the eye, arrows everywhere else. And if you listen to Adrienne King, she apparently didn't even know when they said to her, shut the door. She didn't know he was on that door. And she said, when I scream, it's real.
Yeah, it's a genuine reaction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was a lot of that filming going on in there. I mean, the death scenes in there are really quite inventive. I said in me video nasty section 3 part 1 vid, the last one that I did, when I got to Friday, I said that it was Friday the 13th that created that slasher formula. It was the first time we'd seen that as in a purity. I got somebody in the comments saying, no, you want to look at Mario Bava and all that. I said, well, yeah, that existed before Friday the 13th, but Friday the 13th was the formula with that purity. That was the one that set the slasher craze off to a new height, I'd say.
The thing is, a bit of blood or bloodbath, whichever you want to call it. It's got the couple with the spear through, like Friday the 13th Part 2. But it just doesn't look as realistic, and the jump scares are nowhere near as bad. It's a great film, but it's just not, for me, as I executed the same.
That's what I'm saying. It was the formula, the purity of the kills. They flowed. It's boom, boom, boom. But there was suspense in Friday the 13th as well. There was quite a bit of suspense kills in Friday the 13th as well.
And I think Gary Manfredini helped that a lot with his music.
Definitely.
You listen to that music and listen to the soundtrack to Bare Blood. It's quite dreamy and folky in parts. And it's like, how am I supposed to shit my pants to this?
Yeah, because it's quite stoner music, isn't it?
That's what I mean. There's like these little tom-toms doing, and then he's like, wait up. I know where I'd jump at the most.
Yeah,
I think definitely the music adds to it. I mean that. And even those echoes, I mean, that was just something original. That,
yeah.
When you hear that, you just know it's Friday the 13th.
And you know, when you listen to him talk, he's the most docile, pleasant fella. Very quiet spoken.
All the people involved in these films are the nicest people you could ever want to meet.
I know.
And they created this. I mean, I will say it, that they created this monster with Friday the 13th because until recently, Friday the 13th was the most popular, made the most money out of all of them. Over time, it was just a juggernaut of films for Paramount.
Yeah, it was.
Boom, boom, boom. They had small budgets, but they made about 4 or 5 times each time. Even the weaker ones, like 7, 8. They're the weaker ones, but they still packed a punch. They still made the budget back. You know what I mean?
I love the original Paramount 8. They're my favourites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I can say Nigel. I mean, part 2 is obviously my favourite. That's the one that I love the most. But I'm straight back to the original. Straight back to the original. That can change on any given day, because someday I'm all part 2, someday I'm all part 1, because I think the originality of it.
Yeah. I used to do that. And I think a lot of that is to do with the fact that I've seen part 2 first.
That's it. We were introduced to Jason, and my God, there's a funny tale I'll tell you there. I used to go to a youth club back in the day, and Friday the 13th Part 2 had been out, and we were having a Halloween fancy dress party at the youth club. My God, this is hilarious. I went as a ghost, a shitty white sheet, 2 eyes cut over. That was it. Bob from Halloween, you know what I mean? Whatever it was, I was just a ghost. And my little mate, Simon, God bless him, wherever he is now, he was crazy. He put on a pair of dungarees, and this was inventive. He put on a pair of dungarees, and he put a pillowcase on his head and cut an eye out.
Wow.
And he was Jason for part 2. Honestly. But he got on his bike, the silly prick got on his bike. He had a little bike, and he was riding his bike through the park. And he come bursting out the bushes on his bike. Jason! And he fell off his bike, went straight over the handlebars, and ended up in the canal. Honest to God. Jason! And he come out because he couldn't see because the pillowcase moved. He was fucking blind. And he hit the thing, and he went straight over the handlebars. Straight over the handlebars. And he went into the canal that was by the park. Oh, God. And he got out, and the pillowcase was still on him, and he looked like Jason from the original coming out with the seaweed on his head. And I was like, oh my God, that was the funniest.
Way, get over there, you fucker.
Honest to God, he come out pedaling like Ralph. He was pedaling like crazy Ralph. He went, Jason! He come out, hit this thing straight over, ass over the thing, right into the canal. Oh, mate. I'm telling you, I was just, when he come out and he was dragging his bike out, I was like,
hey, Christ.
Honestly,
you've combined the two, Crazy Jason and Ralph Voorhees.
Honestly, I mean, that was my U club. So all us at the same age was watching this stuff. We were watching all this because we all had older brothers and sisters who were renting these things. Jason! And out he went. I was like, oh my God.
Mobile phones would have been about then, eh?
Oh, mate, to tell you.
That would have been a classic.
I bumped into him. I bumped into him about 10 years ago. And that's the first thing I said to him. Do you remember that fancy dress? He just looked at me. Shut up. Shut up. Embarrassed, but he didn't acknowledge it whatsoever. You know what I mean? Shut up. Shut up. No sense of humour. Brilliant. So today you went flying into the canal.
I'll say one thing. Even when I did watch the original, I was a bit like what Nigel said. I actually thought it was Steve.
Yeah.
The guy who was doing up the camp sort of thing, because obviously that bit of the scene with him in the Jeep sort of thing, and I thought, oh, it's got to be him, because he's kind of like, he's building the camp, then obviously he goes and gets something to eat. He goes at the diner,
and he disappears, doesn't he?
He disappears for a fair portion of the movie. So when Palmer's character comes in, which if I'm right, I think the cast actually didn't know, they weren't allowed to know who the killer was actually going to be. And obviously when she got the gig for the role, which I'm hearing that when she read the script, she hated it. I think she was getting paid like $1,000 a day. So obviously when she came and I thought, oh, okay, who's this? And then obviously she turns. And then when she turns, she's talking to Alice, then you realise it's definitely her. She's a bit twisted. And I always love the scene where obviously Alice, she kind of runs into the woods and the voice kind of tells, Miss Voorhees, Mama, go get her. you know, that bit I found quite disturbing. That's like one of my favourite scenes in the movie because, you know, she's acting out what young Jason's telling her to go and capture her. I thought that was a bit messed up.
The first time I seen her doing the killer mammy thing, I'm sat there going, wouldn't there be you?
Yeah.
I was embarrassed.
It's quite a disturbing scene though, isn't it? Because she comes across I'm Mrs. Voorhees, an old friend of the Christies, and she's caring for her, you know what I mean? And she sees like one of the bodies on the floor. She's what, you know what I mean? And then she starts talking, and the next thing she just the switch just flips.
She's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have opened this place. There's been too much trouble." Did you know that a young boy drowned? You think, "Oh, fuck me."
Yeah, that's
all right.
Yeah.
Just changes just like that.
Instantly.
Oh yeah. But again, in the making, you probably know this, Nigel, but she actually didn't have to give Adrian King a whacking. She proper gave her the beats.
She was proper twatting her one, yeah.
Oh, and he left it in. It was like it was sick. I mean, she proper wellies her. I mean, even on the beach scene, she's giving it some welly, isn't she? I mean, she's like, it's a proper brawl, that is. I mean,
a daft little thing that probably I'm the only person on the planet this excited. But when I eventually rented out the X certificate one for myself, and I pirated it. I had part 1 and 2 on the same 180 tape.
Oh,
and I wore it out. Over here, it was distributed by Warner Brothers, obviously. It used to just come up. The first thing you saw on the screen was a black screen, then you'd get a Sean S. Cunningham film.
Yeah.
In fact, no, you didn't even get that. You didn't. You just got bang, the moon, Camp Crystal Lake, 1958. You didn't get the Sean S. Cunningham one until later on.
Yeah.
When I got the Laserdisc and I put it on, when that Paramount logo come up, I just lost my shit. I don't know what it was. I was like, oh my fucking God, how weird is this? Look at this. Friday the 13th on Paramount. And then when the Paramount logo fades in, a Sean S. coming. I was like, I've never seen that before either.
They added all that in, didn't they?
But because it had the Paramount logo on, because that's obviously where it was originally released. So in effect, it was originally released by Paramount. I just got so excited. That's how pathetic I was. I'll never understand why Paramount or CIC Video didn't get the first one over here. Why Warner Brothers?
I think it's because of the Video Nasty Act. The Video Nasty Act delayed the rest of them being released in England. You remember, Nigel? We had no pre-cert Friday the 13th Part 3.
No.
We didn't have. It should have been a pre-cert. We never got Part 3 until, 86 maybe? When Jason Lives was coming out, because the Video Nasty Act released... They put 1 and 2 on Section 3. They were off the shelf, so Part 3 and 4 were delayed coming out in the UK.
Oh, and where they cut.
Okay.
Oh, my God. I mean...
If you see the 18 certificate VHS of the final chapter, you don't see Jason's eye slide down that knife. No, it's completely gone.
No, I've got them there. I've got all of them on X Rental.
It's shocking how much they were cut. James Fairman butchered them.
Oh, he had his eye on quite a few titles, but Friday the 13th was notorious for being butchered. And people said, "Oh no, that was just the MPA in America." I went, "Oh no." I said, "You watched part 4. You watched Part 4. There's all sorts gone out of that. You know what I mean?"
I saw them. I'm saying uncut. They were still cut in the States. But I saw the R-rated ones when I got the Laserdisc for the first time in sort of 93, 94, and my jaw dropped.
I remember, Nigel, seeing Friday the 13th, the final chapter, before DVD. It was still on VHS, I still had the X Rental. They were on Sky Movies back in the day, and that would have been about 93, 92 on Sky, and I saw that for the first time, and I was like,
wow.
What is that? Where did that come from? And also, that scene at the beginning where after he kills Axel, when he puts the thing in and spins his head round, he gets the nurse, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And in the X Rental VHS that I've got, the X, he stabs her,
and that's it.
It's a quick one. In that, he guts her.
Goes down, yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and that was out as well. So
I'll tell you what else is a bit longer as well. You know the bit where he's in the cellar, hacking him up with that claw thing.
Yeah.
In the VHS, I think you're either one or two of them. Yeah. But in the American one, he's hacking away at him.
He's just
okay.
Yeah, he's doing a number on it, isn't he?
Yeah.
I believe, Nigel, it was because obviously the first one was released on like Warner Brothers. Yeah, they got put onto Video Nasty Act. That was it. For the BBFC, that was it. No more Friday the 13th were going to be allowed into the UK from 1983 onwards. So eventually, when James Furman pissed off and left, that all got changed. So they rewatched them, and then they released this version back on video in about 1986, 87. This was the big box with the Warner Brothers. And then we got part 3. Then we got part 4. But part 2 got released. Yeah. Part 2 got released. That was the original pre-cert, the small box.
I used to have that and all. I wish I still had that and all.
With the white case.
And then all of a sudden, I got in my video shop, this is the specimen case from 1986 or 87 when this was going to be re-released with the big box. Yeah. So
it was like part 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're just like bang, 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 bang to get everybody caught back up because part 7 will have been go out the next year.
So, because people didn't understand that, Nige, they were all saying, "Well, part 3 was released in 1982." I said, "Not in the UK.
Not over here, it wasn't." The first time I saw part 3 was on cable. My sister had cable, and I recorded it. And I had that. When you record on cable, it had lines all the way through. But when she's in the water and he fires the harpoon, it goes in her eye. That's cut on the VHS. I couldn't believe it. I read it out to see.
There's a lot butchered. The part where he does the handstand kill and gets him in the knackers.
Yeah, I've seen that kill.
You see the aftermath of him when she's on the hammock and she looks up. She sees his eviscerated body. Yeah. That's gone. That's gone as well. So
bloody hell, I forgot about that being gone.
Yeah. Oh, that's gone as well in the
absolutely butchered.
Yeah, all of them. I would love, Nige, to get these all uncut for the first time.
Oh,
release them all, director's cut, all of them. How amazing would that be?
It would be. It's never going to happen though, because years ago, when they cut stuff, they didn't keep it.
Yeah,
a lot of that original footage is in the bin. That's why all that deleted stuff from part 2. It was only on a VHS tape, and they took a massive risk. They wouldn't even let him post the tape. When this bloke come up, I've got it. They went and picked it up, and they baked it in an oven for 24 hours, very low. And then they said, "I don't want to press play." They wouldn't put it in. And then when they did, they played. I think they were rejoicing. They're like, "Get it quick!" They digitized it, so at least I've got it. But there's no audio. But that's the only footage of it that exists.
Yeah,
it's such a shame.
Yeah, same with part 7 as well. That was butchered beyond belief.
Part 7 would have been brutal.
Yeah. So that, as far as this one goes, though, chaps, this is the classic, isn't it? This is the one.
For me, definitely, yeah.
This was the trendsetter, wasn't it?
Yeah. Have you seen the UK quad poster?
Yes. Is that the one with the woman's face on?
Screaming.
Yeah.
Dirty Big Knife, and then you've got Kevin Bacon's. Yeah. Do you like that artwork or that one better?
That one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
I like that one because it's more, because I couldn't figure out who the woman was on the poster. I was like, who's that supposed to be?
And with that's Paramount's artwork as well. But I think there's only United States and Canada that Paramount released it. The worldwide release of this has always been Warner Brothers. Even in Japan, the Japanese laserdiscs, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it's the first one, Warner Brothers, isn't it?
It's a shame because that's why they had to carry on. I think getting them all together. Well, not this one, they didn't. The American release, because it was Paramount. I tell you what's a miracle how they got that box set together with all the different companies with the later ones.
Yeah. I was never
money,
a fan of that artwork.
No, that's I think that's German.
Yeah. I've got a poster of that in my dining room of that sort of artwork. I didn't mind it, but I prefer the original one. That one that you just shown there.
that was the silhouette. I mean, it's just
says it all, doesn't it?
It's just more iconic.
A couple of years back, I saw on eBay somebody was selling the original ex-rental Warner Brothers video poster, so the original rental tape, and I thought that front cover would be on the poster, but it's not.
No.
The poster is, look on the back of them that you've got.
Yeah.
Is the one with the calendar and a knife.
That's that one. The re-release one, Nigel.
That was the original, similar to that was the original rental poster, but without the blood.
Yeah.
It was crap, but it went for a lot of money.
Yeah, I've got that one on the back of the SX.
Yeah, I remember looking at that photo and I used to think, God, that film's going to be horrific.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the original Certificate X rental poster artwork.
Yeah. On the spine as well.
What a shame.
Yeah.
I'd rather have had the Adrian King advert.
Yeah.
Artwork, sorry.
Yeah. Because it just set the mood up, didn't it? Like Carlos didn't know what Friday the 13th Part 1 was. Because that cover was not horrific in any way, just saw a woman in a canoe.
I was that age though, because I didn't watch that type of horror. I was only used to like Hammer and stuff like that. My mind used to go in overdrive. Like I'd look at that black and white photo on the back of it and think, oh, they're all them are going to get killed. And when I seen hair on the front of the canoe, I noticed the rips in the shape with the blood stains. I'm like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking at stuff like that used to give me the creeps.
Well, that's all we had though, Nigel. It was the covers.
Yeah,
we didn't have anything. We just had the covers to go on and go. Oh,
yeah.
And we projected everything into them covers because that's the only part of the film we could see. The stills on the back of the covers. What is this?
And if I remember rightly as well, some of the videos to begin with, not all of them had trailers either.
No, they didn't.
Like you get the video company and it would start and that's it. So if you said when they started doing trailers, you were thinking, oh, they must have caught on with, we'll get them on, get them rented out type of thing. But sometimes you pick you would always rent a film out on either the artwork or a little bit of the vague storyline, but the artwork was the big thing for me, I think.
Yeah, I think it was all for all of us. That's all we had to see. We went off the artwork. So
word of mouth through your classmates would tell you about a certain horror movie, and that'd be it. You'd think, well, what are they talking about?
Yeah,
I want to be cool. I want to know what that movie is.
Yeah. So bring this to a close, Nigel. What would be your favourite kill out of the original? If you got a favourite kill.
Oh, well, that's a tough one. I think
some good
for an actual kill of the shock, it will be Kevin Bacon. For practical effects, it will be Bill Crosby.
Yeah.
If I had to pick out the two, I'm going to go Bill Crosby because of how fantastic it looked.
Yeah. You, Carlos, what would be your favourite kill out of it?
I'm going to go with the one right at the end of the movie with Betsy Palmer because, I mean, every time when that comes up, I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I thought that was quite brutal.
I'm gonna go with this one. I was thinking about the first kill that we see. I do like that one out of the Jeep because that was the most horrific. But I'm gonna go with the axe in the head because I'd never seen an axe in the head like that before.
Do you know what? I forgot about that one. That's another brilliant one.
That is a good one. That. Yeah.
And although you didn't see it, God, was I glad when Ned got it. He got it right on my tits. It was about as funny as a thorn up the anus, and he thought he was hilarious.
Yeah. But that axe, though, so you see the axe, he's like whimpering the thing. And at that point, we had never seen anything like that. And it was just hit the light, bump. Ah.
Yeah, she was
yeah, the door frame, and their body was just like bang, and you're like, whoa, look at that. Yeah, God, yeah, that got me.
That was probably my favourite killing, the first one, because it was just so. I think because it was so violent.
It's hard to narrow it down because there's that many good ones. I want to watch it now.
Yeah.
I mean, the critics, they panned it for the violence. I mean, a lot of these horror movies, that's the first thing they do. They just pan it for the violence from the get-go.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I mean, it was a horror movie. They wanted the shock. They wanted it more shocking than Halloween. They wanted it to be controversial. They wanted people to talk about it. Obviously, Halloween, which was shocking, but done in a tasty sort of way. This was a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, this was kind of It
was very little blood in Halloween.
Yeah, very little.
The only bit I can remember is when you see the body at the side of the road after he's like nicked the car off the doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, he's laid there, you see blood. Apart from that, I can't think of any more.
Judith Myers, when she gets stabbed at the beginning, you see a bit of blood there, and maybe Annie has a thin slit throat on the bed. You know when he puts it on the bed with a tombstone.
Yeah,
Annie has a little bit of thin, but you have to have a keen eye to watch that. You know what I mean? But there is hardly virtually any blood in Halloween. But Friday just changed all that. It was just here we are.
They turned the slasher genre upside down with this one. It really did.
Yeah, this was a trendsetter. This was a trendsetter. So, gentlemen, I think we've talked Friday the 13th for an hour and 7 minutes. We've just dissected it. And it gone so quick. This was the quickest hour ever, wasn't it? It's just like boom, boom, boom. This is what I love, because we're passionate about movies, and we're passionate about the films that we love, and thankfully they were all back in that era when they were all new, and we hadn't seen a million of them. We'd seen this for me was a staple in horror, and it will always be a staple in horror for me. Absolutely.
Yeah. Plenty of horror movie memories on this episode, for sure.
Absolutely. And that's what I love. I love listening to Nigel take on where he was and what he was doing and his thoughts, because that's the power of what we had back then. I mean, kids today, they're spoiled with YouTube and the spoilers, and everybody knows who's in it and all behind the scenes before we've even got to the film. Then someone's reviewed it before we even see it. So all that's ruined. But when we can look at this and go, oh, I remember when sitting there and we saw that, and boy, was it frightening.
There was also something exciting as well about having to leave the house and go to a shop sometimes. We even get on a bus, go to the shop and go and rent the tape out. And I don't mean Blockbuster, I mean before Blockbuster.
The independent stores,
For me, Blockbuster doesn't count because it was all PG 15 and 18 by that point. I mean, when it was still A, U, AA, and X, or they just didn't put it.
That's it.
That for me is the day that I remember. It spoiled it when they brought all that PG crap in.
Yeah. I always found that the independent stores would always have the more grittier movies. They'd have the more cult movies, the video nasties. But as soon as it went Blockbuster, it was a little bit more. The kids would come in and choose a movie, which wasn't a bad idea. But the original independent videos, you know, you'd have the horror movies in the other room or on the top shelf. I miss those days.
I remember once in 1981 or 82, there was a little independent record store called Peter's Records in a little place called Eston Square. And I went in. I used to get some cheap records in there as well. And he was open until like late 80s, early 90s. And this day, my mum went in with me and had started renting videos. And that is when I first saw the poster on the wall for Driller Killer. And it knocked me sick. I felt sick just looking at it. Imagine putting a poster up now like that. Fucking hell.
Do you know where I first saw the Driller Killer poster, Nige? I was sat on my kitchen table and we had like a TV Times, and I was just flicking through and they put a full colour print of Driller Killer on there.
In the TV Times?
Something like that. One of them magazines, I swear
Wow.
down, it was one of them magazines, radio or TV, and it was a full colour print of Driller Killer. And I said to my sister, just show it to her. And I went, that, we want to get that. And it was that cover that set off Mary Whitehouse. Because,
yes, it was.
Yeah, she was the one moaning.
Because the company had done that on purpose just to piss her off. You know, all these horror things. So Vipco, our mates at Vipco, said, I know what we'll do for an advert. We'll whack that bad boy in TV and radio titles and magazine.
Look at that. I can't believe he's got all them.
And I said, that's what we need to see. And on the Saturday, one of the video shops never had it in stock. So we went to the shady one above the clothes shop, Duke of Earl, and he had it. And my sister said, here we go, we've got that for Saturday night. Oh.
Every time you pick one of those tapes up and open it, I see like the silver Vipco sticker out of that. I'm like 13, 14-year-old again. It just takes me right back.
You know what gets me, Nigel, is when I look at the tape and you can see the video shop phone number on there.
Bloody hell. A lot of them used to have like them numbered, didn't they? They'd have a little square with the number on, so that when you took them back, they'd never ever give you, towards the end, they didn't give you the original artwork. They'd take them out and put them back on the shelf all numbered.
Yeah, that's right.
I do have a nice T-shirt with that on now, though. Driller Killer.
Oh, yeah. But I think that's the most impressive part of the film. I think it's a depressing film, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But
I still don't know how they did that, because it still looks fantastic to this day. That scene.
I think they spent all the entire budget on that scene.
They must have done.
Yeah. Well, chaps, as much as we could stop talking, that's going to bring it to the end of this Friday the 13th episode. Nigel, are you going to join us for the next Friday the 13th? We've got another Friday the 13th coming up later in the year. Will you be able to join us for them?
Damn tootin', I will.
That'll be in March. I think we got
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And we got one in, I think, November. So we'll definitely have Nigel on for part 2 and part 3.
Excellent.
Yeah? Would you take part 2 next, Nigel?
That's my next favourite one. Excellent.
We'll have Nigel back for part 2. In the meantime, everybody, thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this video with us, thank you so much, because we have been quite excitable today. I knew we were going to have something special. We're doing Friday 13th and having Nigel on as well, because of, when you get 3 horror thespians talking about the old days, you're not going to shut us up. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to check obviously out Carlos's channel, Eastwood for Life Fan, my horror hombre, and please go over and say hello to Nigel. And
do we advertise for the next episode that we're doing?
If you want to do it, Carlos.
Yeah, absolutely enjoyed having Nigel on as special guest. Guys, do check his channel out, Rob God 2004. Plenty of horror content, video nasty content. Check his channel. It will be in the description box down below.
Cheers, lads.
So for the next episode of Horror Movie Memories, which is going to be episode 8, we are going to be talking about a zombie movie from the late 1970s. So guys, if you know what that is, put that in the comment section. That's coming up next.
Right, thanks, Carlos. And with that, everybody, we will say sayonara and see you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys.